Hi friends, in my first video related to application of derivatives, I had told you about the use of derivatives to determine rate of change of one variable with another variable. Now in this video we will learn the next use of derivatives, that is we will use the derivatives to determine whether a function is increasing in a given interval or it is decreasing in that interval. It means now we will apply derivatives to determine whether a function is increasing or decreasing in a given interval. Hence, I will request you to take your pen and notebooks ready to note down the important points for your revision in future. Also, if you find that this video was of any help for you, then please share it with your friends so that they may also be benefited by it. First, we should understand what is meant by an increasing function or a decreasing function. A function which is either increasing or decreasing in a given interval is called a monotonic function. So we can determine monotonicity of a function using derivatives. Say we are taking y as a function of x, then if x will change, then it is sure that y will change. If the value of y, that is the value of function, will increase with increase in the value of x, then function will be termed as increasing function. But if with the increase in value of x, value of function, that is the value of y, will decrease, then we will say that the function is decreasing. It means if we are changing x from x1 to x2 such that x1 is less than x2, and this implies the value of function at x1, that is f(x1), is also either less than or equal to f(x2), that is value of function at x is equal to x2, then we will say that the function is increasing. But if x1 less than x2 implies f(x1) less than f(x2), it means the sign of equality is overruled. Then x1 less than x2 means the value of function at x1 is also less than the value of function at x2, then we will say that the function is strictly increasing. Now we will understand the increasing function graphically. Say we plot a graph between x and y. Say here on this horizontal axis it is x, and on vertical axis we have taken y, that is fx. Then if we are saying the function is increasing, then increasing means either it will increase this way, or it will increase this way, or it will increase this way. These are the three possible shapes that can be taken by a increasing function. Say if we are taking this shape, then for any point on this curve, if we will draw a tangent to the curve, then the tangent will always be making an angle with x-axis, which will be an acute angle, and for an acute angle tan theta will be positive. It means the slope will always be positive. For this case also, if we will draw a tangent, then tangent to the curve will be like this only. It means tangent to any point on an increasing function will always be making an acute angle with the positive direction of x-axis. Hence, the slope of tangent to the increasing curve will always be greater than 0. And if slope will be always greater than 0, then from the study of differentiation, we know that the differentiation of y with respect to x gives the general expression for slope of tangent to y versus x curve. Hence, for a function to be increasing, the slope of tangent to the graph of that function should always be greater than 0. If f dash x is greater than 0 for any point on the curve, that is, for any value of x in the domain of function, then function will be said to be increasing for that value of x. Now, if we come to the decreasing function, then for a decreasing function, if x1 less than x2 implies the value of function at x1, that is fx1, greater than equal to fx2, then we will say that the function is decreasing, because as the value of x increases, the value of function decreases. Hence, in this case, we will say the function is decreasing. But if we come to the strictly decreasing function, then strictly decreasing means again the sign of equality will be overruled. It means we will say that if x1 less than x2 implies fx1 greater than fx2, that is, if x1 is less than x2, then the value of function at x1 is greater than the value of function at x2, then we will say that the function is strictly decreasing. And if we see the graph of a decreasing function, then the graph for a decreasing function will be, say, x on horizontal axis, y on vertical axis, and it is origin. Then for a decreasing function, graph may be either this way, or the function may decrease this way, or the function may decrease this way. Now, in any way, the function may be decreasing. If we will draw a tangent to the y versus x curve, then the tangent will be making an obtuse angle with the positive x-axis. Obtuse angle means an angle greater than 90 degree, and here also we can see the tangent will be making an obtuse angle. And if the angle is more than 90 degree but less than 180 degree, then it means for second quadrant tan theta will be negative. It means for a decreasing function, slope of tangent to the y versus x curve will be negative. That is, for a decreasing function, the tangent to the y versus x curve will be making an obtuse angle with the positive direction of x-axis. Thus, tangent drawn to any point on the curve of a decreasing function will always make an obtuse angle with the positive direction of x-axis, and hence the slope of tangent to the graph of a decreasing function at any point will always be negative. And we know that the slope of tangent to a curve is given by dy by dx, yani differentiation of y with respect to x. So for decreasing function, dy by dx should be negative, and dy by dx means differentiation of fx with respect to x is represented by f dash x. So f dash x should be less than 0 for a function to be decreasing. Thus, there are two ways of determining whether the function is decreasing or increasing. For an increasing function, if x1 less than x2 will implies fx1 less than fx2, we will say that the function is increasing. But there is another way also. If we want to find out whether a function is increasing or decreasing at a point, then we will determine the differentiation of function at that point. If the differentiation of function at that point will come out to be positive, then we will say that the function is increasing at that point, and if it comes out to be negative, then we will say that the function is decreasing at that point. Also, for decreasing function, the another way we are having, if x1 less than x2 implies fx1 greater than fx2, then also we will say that the function is decreasing. Now we will apply derivatives, that is differentiation, for determining monotonicity of a function, that is to determine whether a function is increasing or decreasing in a given interval. Say we are taking an example in which a function fx is given as x plus 1 whole cube, x minus 3 whole cube, and we have to determine the intervals in which this function will be strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. To determine these intervals in which function is increasing or decreasing, first we will have to find out what will be those intervals, and to determine those intervals we will have to first find out the differentiation of this function. Differentiation of this function, that is f dash x, will be, we will apply product rule, 3x plus 1 whole square, and differentiation of x plus 1, 1 plus 0 into x minus 3 whole cube as such, plus x plus 1 whole cube as such, and differentiation of x minus 3 whole cube, 3 x minus 3 whole square into differentiation of x minus 3, x will be 1 while of 3 it will be 0. So it will give us 3x plus 1 whole square into x minus 3 whole square as common, and here we will get x minus 3 plus here we will get x plus 1. This will give 3x plus 1 whole square into x minus 3 whole square into x and x, 2x minus 2. So 2 can be taken as common to get x minus 1. So this will give f dash x is equal to 6 x plus 1 whole square, x minus 1, x minus 3 whole square. Now f dash x, differentiation of function with respect to x, will give the slope of tangent to y versus x curve, and we know that for the points of maxima or for the points of minima, the slope of tangent to y versus x curve will be 0. If slope of tangent to the y versus x curve is 0, then it means f dash x is equal to 0. F dash x is equal to 0 implies either x plus 1 whole square is 0, or x minus 1 is 0, or x minus 3 whole square is 0. It means this implies either x plus 1 is 0, that is x is equal to minus 1, or x minus 1 is 0, that is x is equal to 1, or x minus 3 is 0, that is x is equal to 3. If we plot these 3 points on number line, say it is the number line, here positive infinite, and on this side negative infinite, and here say the point is minus 1, then somewhere here it will be plus 1, and then somewhere here it will be 3. Here it must be understood that f dash x is equal to 0 gives us the values of x for which tangent to y versus x curve is parallel to x-axis, and tangent will be parallel to x-axis only at the points of maxima or points of minima. Before a maxima, the curve will be increasing. After maxima, the curve will be decreasing. In the same way, before a minima, curve will be decreasing, and after a minima, the curve will be increasing. It means the points of maxima or minima will be the turning points for the curve, and these turning points for the curve are obtained by putting differentiation of function with respect to x equal to 0. Now we got 3 turning points in this case, and these 3 turning points will divide the number line into 4 segments or 4 intervals. It means in general, if there are n turning points, then they will divide the number line into n plus 1 segments or n plus 1 intervals. And now we will have to test whether the function is decreasing or increasing in all intervals that are obtained by f dash x is equal to 0. First interval is the leftmost interval, that is from minus infinity to minus 1, that is open interval minus infinity to minus 1. Now in this interval, the value of x is less than minus 1, and for every value of x which is less than minus 1, this term will be negative. It means x minus 1 will be negative, while rest 2 terms, that is x plus 1 whole square and x minus 3 whole square, being perfect squares, will always be positive. So this implies x minus 1 less than 0, implies f dash x will be less than 0, because these 2 terms are positive, this one is negative, so the f dash x as a whole is negative, that is less than 0. And if f dash x is less than 0, then it means in this interval the function is decreasing. So it means if decreasing function is represented by negative, then for this interval the f x will be decreasing. Now the second interval will be from minus 1 to 1, means open interval minus 1 to 1. If we come to this interval, then again we will have to check the sign of x minus 1 only, because x plus 1 whole square, x minus 3 whole square, being perfect squares, will always be positive. So for the value of x between minus 1 and 1, the value of x minus 1 will be less than 0. Again it will be less than 0, because the value of x is varying between minus 1 and plus 1. For x is equal to minus 1, value of this factor will be minus 2, and for x is equal to 1, the value of this factor will be 0. So it means for minus 1 to 1, this factor will change its value from -2 to 0. It means this factor will be negative. So x minus 1 being less than 0, f dash x will be less than 0. And again this implies the function will be decreasing in this interval. Now if we come to the third interval, then third interval will be from 1 to 3. And for third interval, that is for open interval 1 to 3, x minus 1 will be greater than 0, because this time x is greater than 1 and rest two terms will always be positive. So x minus 1 will be greater than 0, implies f dash x will be greater than 0, and this implies if f dash x is positive, then it means the function fx will be increasing in this interval. From -1 to 1 it is decreasing, and from 1 to 3 it is increasing, and the last interval from 3 to infinity, it means the open interval 3 to infinity. For this case also x is greater than 3. X is greater than 3 means x minus 1 will be greater than 0. This implies f dash x will be greater than 0, and this implies fx will be increasing. Thus in first two intervals function is decreasing, and in next two intervals the function is increasing. In this way we can apply differentiation to determine whether a function is decreasing or increasing in a given interval. Now we are taking one more example in which we have to prove that the given function is increasing in closed interval 0 to pi by 2, that is in first quadrant. To prove this, we will first differentiate this function with respect to the variable theta, because this time y is the function of theta. As y is a function of theta, we will differentiate y with respect to theta. That is, we will find out f dash theta. F dash theta means dy by d theta, and here we can see that the first term in the function is the division of two functions, so we will use quotient rule for the first term, and the second term directly will be differentiated with respect to theta. So for differentiating first term, the denominator 2 plus cos theta as such into differentiation of 4 sin theta minus 4 sin theta, that is numerator as such, and differentiation of 2 plus cos theta divided by 2 plus cos theta whole square minus d by d theta of theta, and d by d theta of theta will be 1. So this implies f dash theta will be 2 plus cos theta, 4 being constant will be outside the differentiation, and differentiation of sin theta will be cos theta minus 4 sin theta, and differentiation being distributive over addition, differentiation of 2 will be 0 plus differentiation of cos theta will be minus sin theta. So 0 minus, so 0 minus sin theta, and divided by 2 plus cos theta whole square minus d by d theta of theta is 1. this is equal to LCM will be 2 plus cos theta whole square, and here 2 plus cos theta into 4 cos theta means 8 cos theta plus 4 cos square theta, minus minus plus 4 sin square theta, and minus 2 plus cos theta whole square. We will subtract 2 plus cos theta whole square, it will become minus 4 minus cos square theta and minus 4 cos theta. This will give 4 cos square theta plus 4 sin square theta. 4 will be common, cos square theta plus sin square theta will be 1. So it will become 8 cos theta plus 4 cos square theta plus sin square theta minus 4 minus cos square theta minus 4 cos theta divided by 2 plus cos theta whole square, and this will give 4 cos square theta plus sin square theta being 1, 4 minus 4 will get cancelled, 8 cos theta minus 4 cos theta will be 4 cos theta minus cos square theta divided by 2 plus cos theta whole square. This gives f dash theta equal to cos theta common, we will get 4 minus cos theta divided by 2 plus cos theta whole square. For theta lying between 0 and pi by 2, it means for 0 less than equal to theta less than equal to pi by 2, value of cos theta will vary between 1 and 0, because cos 0 will be 1 while cos pi by 2 will be 0. So 0 will be less than equal to cos theta will be less than equal to 1. So cos theta will be greater than 0 means cos theta will be positive, while 4 minus cos theta will also be positive, and this term 2 plus cos theta whole square being a perfect square will always be positive. So f dash theta will be greater than 0, that is positive. If f dash theta is greater than 0, then this implies f theta is increasing in the given interval.